everybody, and welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about Battlefield 6 console players maybe getting see a nerf with aim assist very soon. We're going to be talking about Battlefield 6 has reportedly sold over 10 million copies. We're going to talk about the community update, challenge and assignment changes coming to Battlefield 6 as well. On top of that, we're going to talk about Soulja Boy. Had years ago was talking, was in the scandal of selling a fake console type of shit. And here we are. Soulja Boy is selling rebranded retro consoles as his own yet again. So we'll talk about that as well. And then we have, I think, one more. Yes, Xbox may be dying, but console games are alive and well, says analysts. So if you guys like what we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do, like I said, 4 days a week right here for a morning show. So that's 20 episodes a month. So we do appreciate you very much. And we're like the London train. We're on time, 10 o'clock every day, Monday through Thursday. So if you like it, please support with listening to the music, downloading the music, hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, becoming a member, or purchasing something from the store. The content is free, and I do appreciate it very much for you coming out and giving me 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour of your time just to get you through a couple hours of your day. All right, so one more story we're going to talk about, because yesterday I was having a conversation with Travis. We talked about it yesterday, last night, a little bit on the evening show when we were playing Arc Raiders over on 30 and Still Gaming. But so Travis sent me a video, Reforged Gaming video, talking about how Xbox basically has made a mistake or whatever. Okay, and I looked at it and said, I think Reforged is coming at it at a completely wrong angle from this. Okay, I come from a point where I'm not a fan of Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox. I play where I want to play when I like something. Okay, and a lot of you do too, right? If you see a game and you want to purchase it, you're gonna buy it. But a lot of people are not buying consoles anymore because of one game. They're buying it because of third-party games. Third-party games outsell first-party games 10 to 1, except for one, which is Nintendo, right? Nintendo's first-party games sell more than anything else. Okay, third-party games don't sell very well over there. It's just the way the culture has been since the beginning of time when Nintendo first came into the business. Okay, so we always go to this chart. Okay, the Sony console number one, PlayStation 2. Okay, 160 million. Now you got to remember, PlayStation 2, after all these years, 25 years, it never cost $350, $400, $500 for a PlayStation 2. You can get a PlayStation 2 at the time for like $100, $150, $200, I think, when it first came out, right? And the price was in a nice place. So people bought a lot of it, and PlayStation has always sold well in at least the last 25 years. And we're going to take the numbers I'm talking about, and this is what the thumbnail's about, right? Let's talk about the numbers. Okay, so I wrote down a lot of numbers, and I'm going to show you, and it's based off of what's here, the data. Okay, and this is why I said that people are not buying more consoles, because there's also cross, right? There's overlap for this, right? I've owned every single Nintendo system from the beginning of time to now, except for the Wii U. Okay, I've owned every PlayStation from the beginning of time to now, except for the PlayStation 5. I've owned every Xbox up until now. Okay, all right. I've had all the consoles. Okay, I don't need a PlayStation 5 because of the way the industry has changed. So when you look at this, right, I also play PC games, by the way, right? In the numbers that we're talking about here is console sales. Analysts say the console sales haven't sold very well, right? So we have the numbers. So I'm going to give you some numbers, right? The generation of PlayStation 2, Xbox, the original Xbox, and GameCube, right? The combined total sales during that time frame, which is 2000 to 2003 or whatever it is, okay? Because I think the GameCube came out in 2001. The Xbox came out in 2001, right? Xbox is down here as well. Yeah, Xbox is 2001. and then PlayStation came out in 2002. So these three systems, right? These three systems sold 205.63 million units combined. Okay, that's not including the Nintendo DS or the Game Boy Advance or anything like that. Just the main systems, right? Just the main systems. 205.63. Now, over the next generation, it went up dramatically, right? The PlayStation 3, which is the lowest selling console of PlayStation's, okay? PlayStation 3, which sold 87.4 million. The Wii, which sold 101.63 million. And the Xbox 360, which was the biggest Xbox, which is 84 million, which is still lower than PlayStation 3, okay? Let me go back real fast. PlayStation 2 sold 160 million, okay? 0.63 up until this day because people are still buying the old systems, okay? Xbox sold 24 million. 24 million. And the GameCube sold 21 million, okay? So again, combined total for that generation of PlayStation 2, Xbox Original, and GameCube, 205.63. Now, PlayStation 3, the Wii, and the Xbox 360 combined total is the biggest and most successful that console's ever been at 273.03 million copies. Okay, that's the most consoles. 273 million consoles sold. Now, as I said at the beginning, I've owned every console. Right? So in the PlayStation 2 era, I owned the PlayStation 2. I own the Xbox, and I own the GameCube. Okay? I've owned the PlayStation 3, I own a Wii, and I own the Xbox 360. Right? There's overlap. And the reason I'm telling you this is because 273 million is the most, and I count for three of them. Okay? I count for PlayStation, the Wii, and the Xbox 360. I count for the PlayStation 2, the Xbox, and the GameCube. Okay? There's a lot of other people that also own three. So there's really not 273 million people that are consumers of these consoles. Then we go to 2013, right? We go to PlayStation 4. We go to Wii U, and we go to Xbox One. PlayStation 4, 117.2 million. The Wii U, 13.56 million. I don't remember anyone saying that Nintendo's in trouble, they're going out of business, and they're closing shop. Never heard that, okay? And then we have the Xbox One that sold 58 million units, which is still second place, right? Now, we're not even throwing software in here. This is just console sales, okay? Now we're at the current day console, which is the Switch, the PlayStation 5, Pro and non-Pro. And then we have Nintendo Switch, just the solo, and then we have the Xbox Series S and X. That's it, okay? Obviously, PlayStation 5s are still selling. Xboxes S and X are still selling. Switches are still selling. So this is what it is right now, okay? So from 2017 to 2020 to 2025, because that's when the Switch came out, this is the same generation from them, okay? We're not counting the Switch 2 because Switch 2 is the next generation for Nintendo, okay? PlayStation 5 right now, 80.3 million shipped, okay? And I say shipped because, again, they haven't sold. They sold to the stores, but we don't know the actual sales, right? This is not to justify the numbers. I'm just letting you ship. I'm going to say ship for everything, right? Switch, Nintendo Switch, 154.01 million units, which will probably surpass PlayStation in the next 2 years, okay? And be the number one selling console of all time, okay? And then we have the Xbox Series S and X at 28.3, which now... Xbox went from second place to third place. Nintendo went from third place to first place. And PlayStation went from first place to second place from the last generation to this generation. Okay? PlayStation 5 is not going to outsell the Nintendo Switch. Okay? Because 2 years from now, there's going to be the next console that comes out. Okay? A grand total of right now is 262.61 million, which is only 11 million behind the 2006 generation of consoles, which, again, there's overlap, okay? I own two. I own the Switch and the Xbox Series S and X, and I actually own three because I have the S, the X, and the Switch, okay? Never bought a PlayStation 5 because I just didn't see justification for it for the games that were coming out because now they're coming out to PC, okay? So let's just say this generation surpasses the greatest, which is 2006 generation, which is 273 million units. And this one's at 262. Let's say it gets to 283, 293, 300 million. Great. That is still 300 million potential customers. And again, there's overlap there. So there's not really 300 million people. There's 300 million people that are willing to, 250, spending money or double buy each console. The consoles are going up in price. So it's going to be really hard for these consoles to surpass the old consoles because prices used to come down for the consoles, right? Mo says, I'm lost. What are you lost about? Okay. I'm talking about console sales. There's less people buying consoles. Consoles are still selling because there's overlap, right? People that own a Sony, own an Xbox, own a Nintendo, okay, own a PC, okay? There's overlap there. So when they're talking about this and they're bringing in the Nintendo Switch 2 and they're like, oh, it's off to a great start. Nintendo Switch 2 is this gen for Nintendo? Isn't the Switch PlayStation 4 gen? No. It goes PlayStation, Xbox, GameCube. That's that generation. That's the 2000, 2001 era. Then it goes PlayStation 3, the Wii, and the Xbox 360. That's the 2005, 2006 era. Then we had the PlayStation 4, the Wii U, which people forget about, and the Xbox One. That's the 2013 era. Nintendo, because the Wii sucked so bad, was like, we need to get ahead of this. So they made the Switch. They also stopped supporting the mobile devices of the Nintendo DS, 3DS, and stuff like that. The last one, I think, that came out in 2011. Okay. So that is their mobile now. So Nintendo, that sold 100. Look right here. Nintendo DS right here sold in 2004 154 million. Nintendo 3DS, which is right here, 2011 sold 75 million units. Okay. Nintendo Switch came out in 2017 and basically took the mobile and the console and merged them together. Okay. They adapted. They adapted because they saw where it was going. They're like, oh man, we make a lot of money with the mobile. Right? Game Boy Advance, 81 million. Nintendo 3DS, 75 million. Right? They kept selling Nintendo DS, 3DS. Okay. But then they took the Switch and made it, and the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 5, and the Xbox S and S are in the exact same. That's their next generation. That's the whatever number you want to call it, 5th, 6th generation. Okay. Nintendo Switch 2 is the beginning of the next generation, which will have a 2-year gap before PlayStation 6 comes out and then whatever the Xbox next is. No, I only heard 2 when I had the headset on? Okay. Right? So less people are buying consoles. This is fact. Again, there's overlap within this, right? Everyone has to adapt. Now I want to talk about where Xbox has been, right? These are total sales numbers for the last 25 years, just 25 years. We're not even including the PlayStation 1. We're not including the mobile devices or anything like that. These are just the main units over the last 25 years, all right? We're going to start off with Sony. Sony's total sales of PlayStation 2, 3, 4, and 5 is 445.53 million units, okay? They're above and beyond ahead of everybody else in the last 25 years. PlayStation has sold 445 million copies in 25 years. Nintendo, between the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, Nintendo Switch, they sold 290.94 million units. Okay? Think about that, because 154 of that is just the Switch. Okay? And Xbox, between Xbox 360, Xbox One, and also the Xbox Series S and X, has sold a grand total of 194.3 million units. Okay? That's a 445 for Sony, 290 for Nintendo, and 194 for Xbox. So now everyone's going, well, Xbox is going to die. Xbox is they're done in the gaming industry. Let me ask you, if you owned a business, and the other competitors, I own a burger joint. Okay, 30 and Still Gaming's burger joint. I'm going up against McDonald's. I'm going up against Burger King. And then there's 30 NSG burgers. Okay, I'm in the burger industry now, and I'm competing with them, and I'm dead last every single time. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to sit there and just kind of just exist? Or am I supposed to try to adapt and get an edge somewhere? Right? Think about this as a business owner. Okay, as a business, You look at Sony's numbers, you look at Nintendo's numbers, just at sales now for console, not software sales, because if we go software sales, it's the complete opposite, okay? Because Nintendo is outselling all of these people, okay? Like 5-1, okay? 4-1 for first-party titles compared to everyone else's first-party titles. It's not even close. It's not even close. The entire God of War franchise, okay, is 5 million ahead of just Mario Kart Deluxe or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Okay, 8 million. That's it. In front of the entire franchise of God of War. One Mario Kart is just 8 million behind the entire franchise. Okay, it's not even close. Okay, so what is Xbox supposed to do? If you owned Xbox and you were dead last and you're 3-1, right? You're 3-1 down from total sales in 25 years. What would you do? Okay. What would you do as a business, as an owner, as an investor? What would you like Microsoft to do? Right? You would try to tap in, because the entire rant that I've had so far is that there's only 250 to 300 million people buying a console. And again, this is less because multiple people own multiple consoles for consoles. Okay. How many of you own Nintendo or PlayStation, or Xbox and PlayStation, or Xbox and Nintendo? How many of you? Do you guys own more than one console in that same generation that it came out? Right? So there's a very finite amount of people that are playing with these consoles. Okay. So going forward, Microsoft is like, well, how do we try to compete? And they're like, you know what? We're still keeping our toe in the water over in this 250 million market of console sales, but we've always been dead last, right? We've always been dead last. So how do they change this, right? For some reason, any other business in the world, any business, if you're competing, to compete, you would have to change something. Otherwise, you die. If you don't adapt, you die. Okay? All of them are adapting. This is why Nintendo is suing people, because they're afraid of what the future holds. Because if other people can copy their first-party titles, well, then Nintendo has nothing. Because less people will buy Nintendo, and they'll go play that product somewhere else. Okay? Sony is moving their games over to PC because they have to. They have to adapt. Xbox or Microsoft has to move their stuff everywhere because they're dead last by 3-1. Right? So now they're like, well, how do we tap in? Okay? How do we tap into the other people that could give us $10, $15, $20, $30, microtransactions, whatever, right? Sony adapted by making live service games, right? Nintendo adapted by franchising or licensing out their brands to movies, to theme parks, to mobile phones. Microsoft adapted by going to cloud, by changing and putting day and date and making Game Pass, right? They've all adapted in some way, shape, or form, but yet, for some reason, the console warriors sit there and keep spoon-feeding themselves that, well, this company is dead. This is gone. I read you the numbers, right? GameCube sold 21 million units against PlayStation 160 million units back in 2000, okay? Dead last. 3 million behind the Xbox, the original Xbox. Yet, Nintendo's still here. Why? Because they sold games, okay? PlayStation 3 was 20 million behind the Wii. Xbox was 3 million behind the PlayStation. They were still dead last, okay? PlayStation 4, 117 million PlayStation 4. The Wii U sold 13 million copies. That's death. That's a death sentence, okay? Xbox hasn't sold that less, okay? Xbox One sold 58 million. And then you have the Xbox Series S and X, which is 28 million, which is still more than the Xbox, okay? So it's not the worst console they've ever sold. Nintendo sold 154, and PlayStation's at 80 right now, okay? And Nintendo's at 154 right now, okay? By the end, Nintendo Switch will probably have 160. By the end, PlayStation 5 will probably have 100, 101, 105, okay? Like, what are they supposed to do? Chat, tell me, what is Microsoft supposed to do? Are they supposed to just sit there and not adapt, not change, not do anything? If you were a business, would you just let it die? Or would you try to adapt? That's the question, right? Everyone's like, oh, Xbox is making big problems, big changes. Well, apparently, what they were doing before wasn't working for them because they were dead last or they were second, way behind first place, right? They're supposed to make a better product. They're there to make games. The product is the consoles. They don't care, right? They're trying to sell the software. Now, let's go to software, right? Software side. Nintendo is dominating. When you take a first-party title of Nintendo, they're selling 30, 40, 50, 60 million copies of their first-party titles. Sony's selling 10 million, 30 million, okay? Hey, that's it. Franchise totals are 70 million. One thing for Nintendo sells about as much as a franchise. Same with Halo. Halo's total sales is like 80 million, right? One Mario Kart is almost 80 million. Okay. God of War is 73 million. Mario Kart is 68, 69, almost 70 million, right? I mean, that's what it is. So if they're trying to sell, now Xbox has got games on PlayStation, and guess what? Travis saying, well, they have to make a better product. Well, you're playing their games, Travis. You're playing Outer Worlds 2, which is Xbox. You're playing Indiana Jones, which is Xbox. Okay? You're playing Xbox games. They're succeeding because you're buying their software. You're buying their software. They're putting it everywhere. They've adapted. They're putting it everywhere. And everyone's like, well, you've ruined the console now. But the console's not the console anymore, man. We don't live where the cartridge is on the actual console anymore. It's all digital. We're moving. We're changing. We're adapting. Right? I don't have a Sony Walkman anymore where I'm holding with the shitty headset. I got earbuds in my ear now. Bluetooth. Right? Companies have to adapt. If they don't adapt, they die. If Microsoft stayed exactly as is, it would die. Okay? But because they're adapting, because they're changing, they live on. They're making money. They're profitable, and yet they still fire people, but they're still profitable as a business. Okay? Sony adapting. They're going day and date, my friends. They're going to go day and date. Why? Because they have to. They have to adapt. Okay? Nintendo losing lawsuits now because they can't patent certain things. So what do they got to do? See, they don't have to make a better product because Pokemon sells millions and millions of copies. But if they stop the competition from making games like Pokemon, well, then they can make a shitty product and still sell 70 million copies. Okay? You said this yesterday, Travis. Look at Amazon. Amazon sold books. Right? That's what they sold, books. What does Amazon sell now? They sell everything but books. Right? No, they sell books. But they sell everything. But what is their biggest model? Their biggest model is a subscription. They give away the subscription model to get people, right? They give away the shipping, right? Because everyone's just getting Amazon Prime, and they give so much value in Amazon Prime. And they adapted. Travis says, 30 question. Could they reopen a case to free Nemesis system? Or could they reverse the patent? No, that's in stone until it ends. And I think another 5 years, 6 years, whatever it is. Right? But look, what'd you get for your birthday, Travis? What'd you get for your birthday? Where are you reading your books on? Right? Are books dead? No, they've just adapted. They've adapted to Kindle, virtual books, digital books. Right? Books are not dead. Books are still here. You can go to the store and still buy a book. Okay? You can still buy a book. But the industry adapted. They're like, oh, we're going to put our books on digital because that's more money for us. And they almost charge full price for those things as they do with the books. Unlike the video game industry, though, digital books actually do cost cheaper than the digital games. Some on Kindle, but I still buy physical as well. Well, there you go. You just answered the question of, is Microsoft dead? No, because people are still going to buy physical. People are still going to buy consoles, but they're also going to buy digital. They're also going to play them on their mobile phone. They're also going to play cross-play, cross-progression. They're also going to do all of these things because the industry is adapting, right? So everyone screams from the top of the rooftops that, well, Microsoft is dead, and this is dead. Again, GameCube sold 21 million. Wii U sold 13 million. Yet for some strange reason, Nintendo is still here. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. What do you think? Do you think Microsoft is dead? Do you think console sales are soaring through the roof and everyone keeps buying consoles? Because yet there's still that small group of people, less than 300 million people, that are buying consoles. Because everyone that watches a YouTube channel like this or watches a podcast or someone talking about this, you own more than one of the competitive things. You own a Nintendo and a PlayStation. You own a Nintendo and an Xbox. You own an Xbox and a PlayStation. You own a PC and one of those consoles. Okay? That's how it is. Again, my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right. Good morning, chat. I had to get that off my chest. What's going on, Mo? What's going on, Clips, Roadkill, Travis, Wonder Rose, good morning. Altern, good morning. Robert Jones, good morning. Jesse, good morning. Jason, good morning. Sarge, good morning. Robert Jones. Did I already say Robert Jones? I think I said Robert Jones. Yeah, I said hi to you again, Robert. What's going on, Luke? El Dente, good morning. Altair, what's going on? Good morning. I think I said Roic. If I didn't, Roic, what's going on? Aku, what's going on? Good morning. Argus, good morning. Roic says, look at Madden. EA is the only one that can make a licensed game, and it's always the MVP. Yep. Minimal viable product. Eclipse says, yeah, I have so many digital books that I never paid for. They gave me a coin, and I could get whatever I wanted. That's right. Aku says PlayStation 5 games are not the standard. If they were, they would sell a higher percentage of the total population than Starfield had more players than Sony games. Think about that. Right. And again, this is not me shitting on Sony or shitting on Xbox, right? Yote's only on PlayStation. It sold less than 4 million copies of 80 million people. 80 million people. And they made a game for 4 million people. That's not good. Even if it goes on to sell 6 or 7 million. I mean, obviously, I don't know the budget of it. So if they could sell a game and sell 4 million and be profitable, fantastic, right? Fantastic. But their player base, for people to say that they buy a PlayStation for first-party games, but yet 75 million people don't buy the first-party brand-new game that came out. I understand games are not for everybody. But it's like that with God of War. Right? Even God of War sold 11 million, 12 million, 15 million units. You still have 70, 65 million people that haven't bought the game or have no interest. Crowded House says, well, I think 30% profit margin unachievable. And for that reason, I think Xbox might be in trouble. 30% profit margin, though. Are you thinking of it, though, Crowded, in a physical form, or are you thinking of it as a digital form, right? So put this in perspective. If I have a physical object and I'm selling, I don't know, this mouse cost me $10 to make, but I'm selling this thing for $100. Okay. It's a physical thing I have to make, right? Digital, I don't have to make. I don't have to bring it to a shop to duplicate it in any way, shape, or form. I make the game, I put it on the thing, and then I sell it. I'm charging $70, $80, $90, $100 for that thing. I own the thing that they need to get it on, right? It's going on a television set that I already purchased. That's not taking they're not taking a percentage of that, right? I'm just getting a free app on the television set, and I can beam that thing from the space station, okay, down to my television set, and they're making more margins than 30%, right? Now, if we're talking about 30% margins of physical goods, good luck to you. But 30% on a microtransaction, 30% on a digital good, 30% on a subscription model. I think a lot of people are like a horse, man. You guys look at it as there's no way they can make, like, what are they printing? They're not printing anything. They're not putting it in a box. And if they do make a game and then put it in a box and then put it in a store, and that's like the other games, whatever they lost money on for the shipping and the printing and whatever else, and that one physical copy made less money than the 10 digital copies that did sold. It doesn't matter. It washes it out. Starfield had more players and 0 buyers. They literally sold between 7 and 10 million copies, Travis. That's on top of the people that played it on top of Game Pass. Ron says, what's the book? What's going on, Ron? El Dente says 75 million people only play Madden and FIFA. Yeah, and COD. Or Fortnite. And they didn't even pay for Fortnite. What's the 30% mandate for the company as a whole? Each individual division? Jack says Xbox has to grow in other areas, even if the console is not one of them. Here's the question. Why is it part of the metric they report on? Amy Hood expects hardware to be down. Yeah, hardware is going to be down. And think about this. For every system they don't make, but yet someone picks up Game Pass on the television set or the mobile phone or their tablet or their laptop or their PC, and they're paying $10, $15, $20, right? They don't need to make the $300 up front, right? If someone has Game Pass all year at $10, that's $120 for them. But that's also a thing they didn't make. It's just a thing they're recurring that they're making money on, right? And that's not including microtransactions. That's not including the DLCs that you have to buy if you want to play the game. So let's say you didn't buy Indiana Jones, but you paid the money to play it on Game Pass for 1 month. Well, now I got to go back and pay 1 month again to get the DLC that I have to pay for, and then also buy the service, right? I got to pay for the service for the month. I got to buy the DLC, and then I can play it. At this point, I think people keep buying PlayStation, Xbox more for the sunk cost fallacy. Perhaps, Roic. Well said, no buyers? What do you mean, though, Travis? I don't understand what you're saying, no buyers. So, okay, so right now, if I tell you that Battlefield 6 has 10 million units, are you going to say there's no buyers? Because 10 million is 10 million. If one other game sold 10 million units, and this game sold 10 million units, but you don't like the other game, so you're saying it didn't sell. I'm confused. Mo says also take into account the early access. Maybe it just has to do with what Xbox is spending versus what they're making. I don't know the fine details. I'm just looking at what the analysts are saying. But the analysts don't really say anything. That's the problem. That's the problem, House. The analysts don't say anything. They don't tell you where they're getting the information from. They don't tell you where you're pulling from. They don't tell you anything. At least I'm giving you numbers from the console sales and telling you that console sales are down. Again, because there's not 250 million people buying consoles, individual people buying those consoles. That's a combined total of all the games, 273 million units. But I count for 3 of those in that generation. I count for 3 of those in the other generation. I count for 3 of those in the next generation. I've always owned 3 consoles of the sales that are going on, and many of you also. So it's stagnant. The actual pool to pull from is stagnant. They're like, well, how do we get past this point? What did Netflix do when they got stagnant? They had to raise the price. They had to crack down on the people giving away codes. There's a saturation point. There's a saturation point right now for consoles. There's a saturation point, but no one thinks that because they're looking at individual numbers. They're looking at, well, Nintendo Switch has got 154. See, more people bought this Switch than they bought the Wii U. Yeah, but the industry combined is still lower than the one before, right? This one will pass, potentially, the 2006 era of PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and the Wii. Okay? But there's still less people buying, physical people buying the consoles. But no one can look past that. No one can see that. They're like, no, it's more people are buying consoles. No, they're not. The same people are buying consoles. And the same people are buying the other consoles. Titan says 10 million copies with a bad campaign mode. That's here nor there. That's here nor there, Titan. 10 million copies is 10 million copies. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It's sold 10 million copies. No, I actually own 2 current systems, Travis. I already said this. I own the Switch and the Xbox. Why would I buy a PlayStation when all their games are coming to PC? And I already own a PC. We're not even talking about PC in these numbers because console players don't count multi-plat as PCs. So I only gave the numbers for actual consoles. Travis says Switch 1 isn't current. It was last gen day one. No. The Switch was 2017, which was 3 years earlier, because the Wii U sucked balls and didn't last long. So like we have to switch, no pun intended. Okay. The Switch is part of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S and X. The Switch 2 is now part of 2 years in advance because they already had 3 years advance of the other consoles. Sony and Xbox are behind Nintendo. Nintendo is getting away. Instead of launching the same year as every other time, they were like, we're going to do 3 years ahead, which was genius because they made more money. You're looking at it wrong. Switch 1 was powerful as the PlayStation 3, no more. You're looking at, oh my God. I have to stay quiet because I'm going to call you a name, but I don't want you to call you, all right? I gave you the actual information, okay? I gave you each generation, word by word. Every year that they came out, each one came out. The exact same time frame, each one came out. The Switch is part of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S and X. If you don't want to accept it, you don't have to, but okay. All right. Yeah, so all the people talking about, well, Microsoft is dead. No, they would be dead if they didn't do anything. Right? Same with Nintendo. Same with Sony. If you don't adapt, you die. Look at content creators. Look at TV shows. Look at video games. If they don't adapt and change with the times, then they become obsolete. So they have to change it. All right, so let's go with the speaking of morons. Speaking of morons, let's talk about Soulja Boy. Okay. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5 over here on YouTube. If you're over on Twitch, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button. If you're over on Twitter, don't do anything. Just sit there. It's fine. All right. Soulja Boy is selling rebranded retro consoles as his own. This man. Okay. Retroid has confirmed, okay, it's no official licensing deal for Soulja Boy's new handheld retro console, Soulja Game Flip. Yeah. This man's just putting his name on stuff and thinking that he created and put like multi-millions and billions of dollars into designing stuff. The retro handheld console market has experienced significant growth in the past few years, with several new major players entering the scene in recent years. Retroid is a popular name in the retro handheld market, and it appears that some of their consoles are being sold by Soulja Boy as his own device without official deal in place. So the only way I can do this and explain it to you, lots of content creators, they have deals with like coffee companies. It's their coffee, but they make the coffee and then they just, they slap on their let's say it was a Starbucks brand, but Starbucks licenses it out or whatever, and you're paying a fee, and then they take the same coffee they make at Starbucks or whatever company, and then they put their label on it. They make it for them. Okay, that's what he's doing. Okay, he's taking someone else's brand and saying, "Oh, it's a Soulja Boy device." Okay, Soulja Boy is selling, rebranding retro consoles at more than double the price. Look at this man. I mean, I have to say, you can hate the guy, right? But you can't hate the hustle. Okay? Mad respect for the hustle. Considering there's a lot of people that don't do shit in the world. They're just stagnant people that just stay there and they're like succubists. They take off everybody else, right? They don't earn anything themselves. This man's on the street hustling. Okay? I don't approve of it, but there's respect there that at least he's doing something, trying to make a buck. Okay? Soulja Boy started marketing a retro Pocket Flip 2 as the Soulja Game Flip on the Soulja Boy Game Instagram account for their recent post of the hip-hop artist showcasing the console and his handheld, talking about all the games and the apps, features including Sonic, TikTok, Instagram, and everything you know. Let's have him advertise it himself. Let's see.
What's poppin'? It's your boy Soulja Boy. The new Soulja Game Flip is out right now. www.souljaboy.
Can I just say, like, this is like me doing this. Hold on a second. Don't mind the PlayStation logo on here, okay? Just like be like, "Hey yo boys, what's going on? 30 NSG here with the new 30 NSG PlayStation 30 NSG model. It's fantastic. Go pick on up like, what are we talking about? You can't just be like, "Yeah, boy, this is my system. I made this." You didn't make shit. You didn't design it. You didn't research it. You didn't invest your money into it. You did nothing. Hey man, get the 30 NSG mouse. Like, I bought 100 of these, and now I'm selling them separately on my own account.
Boy.net, you know what I'm saying? Everybody go tap in. You got all the games you need on here. Wi-Fi, fast Wi-Fi. Fast processor, good graphics. Don't worry about what the fuck I get your Soulja Game.
The people in the background is really what sells it. The people in the background really sell it. I feel like I'm in a Call of Duty match right now, right? I'm gonna kick your ass. Ma, give me some meatloaf.
Game. Soulja Game console today, you know what I'm saying?
That's you just put you just loaded up a JPEG on the actual device. You just put a JPEG in the background for your wallpaper. What are we talking about here, chat?
Got Sonic, got TikTok, Instagram, everything you need.
Oh man! According to the report, Retro was not aware of Soulja Boy was selling their retro consoles as his own. No shit. The official statement was representative states that didn't know about this, and this is not any kind of official licensing deal. Okay? He does not have permission to rebrand our products and sell them as his own. You don't say. You don't say. The Retro Pocket Flip 2 is patented in the U.S. by ourselves. Yeah, he didn't do any of this. He didn't patent it. He didn't do shit. He did zero stuff. He's just like, "There's a glass of water. Soulja Boy water. Comes straight from the mountain." Like, what are you talking about? You're delusional. Mental health is true. Okay, you can see it right there. Okay, if you visit a website where Soulja Game Flip is being sold, it becomes blatantly obvious that the device is just a rebranded Retro Pocket Flip 2. Even the image for the console are the same ones used in Retro website. Furthermore, the rapper has more than doubled the price of the original console, with the Retro Pocket Flip 2 priced at $209 and the Soulja Game Flip costed $436.50. And you know what? I guarantee you he sold at least 100 of them. At least 100 of them. maybe even more, because there's a sucker born every second. Okay. And then those suckers that were born every second grow up to be absolute dumbasses and will purchase this for $436. In other news, okay, the Atari new game station Go Handheld, which is a retro futuristic marvel. Okay, let me see what this is. Hold on a second. What is this? Oh, the new Atari. Who is buying this? Chat, is anybody buying this? Is anyone buying this besides a collector? That's what I said, Sarge. I give him props for being a hustler, but that's about it. Like, what are we talking about, Soulja Boy over here? Just selling other people's things and knocking them off as his own. Amazing. Amazing. He just puts a JPEG in the background. He's like, yeah, Soulja Game Boy or Game Flip, whatever the hell he's calling it. Altern says Soulja Boy is a national treasure. I wonder if he got his start selling Timex watches on the streets of New York. Maybe. Either I'm in the Twilight Zone or 30 is Soulja Boy fan who makes off-brand consoles. Don't get started with the rap career. One-hit wonder. Eclipse says there's no way you don't know Soulja Boy, Travis. He went to high school when I did, and he was also the famous songs one year. I forget what was that. What was that thing? Soulja Boy. Is it? Dun, 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 right? Like that's the beat of the thing, and he like the fly thing, whatever he was doing. Is that? Am I thinking right? The Soulja Boy guy. That's him, right? Oh, come on, 30. Screen wallpaper of Soulja game. Of course, it's his console. Yeah, nine. What is that? Possession is 9/10 of the law or something like that. Like because he's holding it, it's his console. I mean, technically, it is his console, but not his console to sell. Titan says, shout out to his fan base. So ridiculous. Yeah. Where he goes, you. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. It's in my head, and now I need to play something else. I need to play something else to get that out of my head. Hold on. Let's play.
There's a guy named Travis, he's always around. In the chat, bro, takes status down. Another thing he says, it's overhyped trash. With Mass Effect, now that's his stash. He's a Sony booty, loud and proud. Even when Sony's got him down, they took his games, left him in the cold. But Travis still defends them, oh so bold. Travis, the king of hot takes. Hating what we love, he claims we're all fakes. When Marvel Rivals starts to reveal, he's reporting.
I've cleansed the palate now. We can actually think about other things now. All right, let's see what else we're doing. Oh, did you guys see, Jason? You'll be excited about this. Hold on, let me find it. Let me find it. You'll be excited about this. Did you see the new the Wolverine skin that's coming? What is this? Okay. There's a new skin that they showed off. It looks fire. I gotta find it though now. And of course I can't find it now. I'll just put Marvel Rivals. I don't think it's official though, is it? I think it's official. Maybe it is official. No, it's not official yet. Oh, yeah, they show them, but the video's not showing. Where is it? Come on. They showed Wolverine. Oh, here it is. Bro. I'm not a big microtransaction guy, right? But I gotta give props where props are. And Marvel Rivals, the art department team or the art design team, like, so fucking good. So good. Like, look at that. So good. I don't condone paying $25 for a skin. Doesn't matter what game it is. But the guys who make this stuff, fantastic. Fantastic. And then he says this feels like a TikTok trend where we also see horror jump scares and play hot dog and dance to calm down. Yeah. And just like that, the song is bad and in your head. It's exactly right. Right? Now you're singing. Travis, King of Hot Takes. Right? It's just like that. Boom. Done. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, let's talk about Battlefield 6. Let's talk about good news first. Right? Good news first. I did say 8 to 12 million copies. Okay, 8 to 12 million copies. Right? Battlefield is back, according to the people that like playing the game. Now, obviously, in my opinion, I think they've suckered a bunch of people to buy a game that is broke, buggy, and unfinished. And obviously, it's true because they keep making fixes and changes because the game wasn't ready. The game wasn't ready. They're not making fixes like to tweak stuff. They're changing complete things that because they didn't test it. But they suckered you with smaller maps, Call of Duty crowd, and now they're fixing the stuff. Why? Because those people will be leaving to go play Call of Duty, or those people will be leaving to go play something else. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Okay. Battlefield 6 has reportedly sold over 10 million copies. The new data reveals that Battlefield 6 has sold over 10 million copies across all platforms. Now, mind you, this is not official from EA themselves. This is from the analytics reveals, okay, which we don't know how they do it, but they do it anyway, okay? So Battlefield 6 has taken gaming world by storm. I don't know if it's taken it by storm. Hitting new heights of player numbers on Steam with both full release and Battle Royale mode. We already knew that the Battlefield 6 has become the... Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I gotta see if this is true. I've got to see if this is true. Because when someone says something, I have to fact check it. And I implore anybody to do this the same thing to me. If I say something and I'm factually wrong, let me know, right? I'm okay about being wrong. We're about having conversation, right? When someone comes out and says that Battlefield 6, right here, highest of player numbers on Steam with both full release and Battle Royale mode. Okay. Well, let's see. When did the Battle Royale mode come out? It came out last week on the 28th, right? So this is 1 week. So it went down. Okay. There's Friday, 31st. Then this is November. Okay. Okay. And then all of a sudden a massive drop off happened. What happened? I guess everyone went back to school. Okay. And now we're same day, same time every day. And it's less and less. Now, I'm not denying that it sold a crap ton. Not denying that at all, right? It says analytics-wise, it might have sold 8 million alone on anywhere between 5 and 8 million on PC. Okay? But again, there's no proof of the actual thing because they haven't come out and said it. Okay, it says, we already knew that Battlefield 6 had become the biggest launch in series history, selling over 7 million copies. Is that true? I don't think that's true either. I don't think that's true either. I think Battlefield 4 was the biggest selling of all time when it first came out. Now I got to look this up. Let's see here. There's no official single-week sales figure for Battlefield 4 in comparison to other games. Indicates the launch sales were lower than Battlefield 3, but higher than Battlefield 1. Sources estimated that Battlefield 4 had first-week sales around 2.5 million units. Okay, let's see. On other report, but there's no actual fact if it did. Well, I'll tell you what. If Battlefield 6 sells more than 17 million, then we can say it's the best of all time. Oh, was it Battlefield 3 Was it Battlefield 3 and not Battlefield 4? Hold on, let me see. Battlefield 3 sold 5 million units in its first week, making it the fastest selling game of all time. What did it sell in the first month? By the end of the first month, total worldwide sales reached 8 million copies. Okay. So we could say that if this is official now, after the first month, because are we at a month yet? I think we're at a month, right? Or are we close? It's this week is the month. So if it sells over the 8 million copies, then Battlefield 6 can be the number one selling copies of all time, but it's not official yet. So we can't say it's official. Biggest launch in the series history, selling over 7 million copies. Now it seems that the game has reached a brand new sales milestone. Okay, Battlefield 6, 10 million copies may not be enough to overturn the Call of Duty's overall market dominance, which we did talk about, by the way. I said by the end of the time, Call of Duty will still outsell Battlefield. Okay. It says that he revealed that Battlefield 6 has surpassed 10 million copies sold across all platforms during a new interview with GameIndustry.biz. However, it feels that the momentum is not enough to overtake Call of Duty's overall market dominance this year, at least. Okay, Elliott added that Battlefield 6 has gained a lot of popularity amongst the PC players. However, Call of Duty is the multi-platform powerhouse whose sales base extends far beyond Steam and PC market. Okay, Elliott explains that Battlefield 6 experiences a huge amount of goodwill from the community thanks to the improvements that they have made from the previous titles. Battlefield 2042, Call of Duty, on the other hand, is experiencing a perception problem due to the inclusion of Fortnite-esque cosmetics and excessive repetition within the series. However, these factors will not significantly impact the COD sales. Oh, so when I said that years ago it lost its identity, now people are saying it's lost its identity, but I'm saying it's not going to be a failure. Now everyone's like, well, it's going to damage it, but it's not going to hurt it that bad, right? Moreover, Call of Duty casual player base dwarfs Battlefields, and thanks to the integration with Warzone, millions of players constantly expose marketing in-game promotions, social tie-ins, and convert attention into purchases. In other news, Battlefield 6 developer have confirmed that aim assist changes are coming shortly. We're about to read that as well. So congratulations if it is true, and they come out and they physically say, hey, we sold 10 million units. Cool. I predicted between 8 and 12, and I said that they would change it dramatically after launch, which they... Now, if it's true, they're halfway between the mark I set for the top of 12 million. Okay. They're at the midpoint there for me. And then they did change everything so far. And the Battle Royale, which is not doing very good, even though people say it's doing very good, it doesn't look like it's brought in, if we go to the max, it doesn't look like it's brought in more people, right? Because here's the Battle Royale. The Battle Royale basically is the same where it was back here when it first launched. It popped it back up. People lost interest here. Then they popped back up, and now it looks like they're backing down again. Okay, so when did it launch? It launched on the 10th. So this week will be 1 month that it's out. So we'll see what happens. Okay. So good for them for getting up that high, but it's not official yet. When it becomes official, I'm sure they'll scream it from the hilltops. But maybe they won't, because obviously they thought they would sell a lot more. Robert Jones says, COD is too big to fail. I mean, it could fail, but here, what do we do? COD sales? Call of Duty sales? We've talked about this in the past as well. Do they show... Yeah, I don't want that. I want a different, let's see, Call of Duty by year. Okay. So in modern games, in modern times, since 2007, Call of Duty Modern Warfare was at 15.7 million. Okay. The lowest since then was 12 million, which is Infinity War. Okay, Call of Duty Infinity War or Warfare, which is 2016. Okay, which is 12 million. Then you have the Black Ops 4, which is 14.3. Even if Call of Duty hits this number, do we think, chat, that Call of Duty will get below 12 million? 14 million? Like, do we believe that this Call of Duty sells less than 14 to 12 million copies? Because that would make it one of the lowest ones in 20 years. Right? Only the first three, Call of Duty, Call of Duty 2, and Call of Duty 3, 4.5, 5.9, 7.2. Okay? I think this one sells somewhere between, I'll say 16 to 22. And that's a low end, right? I think it gets high above the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Robert Jones says 25 mil. Altair says 23 mil. Come on, Sweat. Yeah, I think it gets anywhere between 16 and 22 mil is what I'll say. So it'll be somewhere between those two, which is still way more than what Battlefield did, right? Do we have Battlefield total sales? Here we go. So the worst Call of Duty, okay, is still almost better than the best Battlefield. Because down here, Battlefield 1, where it says 25, that's players, not sales. Yeah, that's total players. That's not sales. Is YouTube messing up for you guys? Is YouTube like freaking out on you guys? Or on Twitch? Anybody? Let me know if it is. Yeah, it says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. You gotta reset Twitch, so it's the whole thing. Our link man says, I'm on Twitch like a man of culture. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. It did for a second. Stream went dark, then back on, and then the ad. Interesting. Yeah, because on my side, I saw something happen. I was like, what happened there? Just want to drum in. All right, so let's go to the next story of Battlefield, which obviously, if you're enjoying Battlefield, continue enjoying Battlefield. Just don't defend it when things change because it's not complete. Okay? So Battlefield 6 console players may see nerfed aim assist very soon. Okay? Interesting. At the age of old debate continues if Battlefield 6 mouse and keyboard versus controller, since the mouse and keyboard is seen as more reactive and precise. Console players are often seen given aim assist in shooters to make it even playing field. However, developers may have buffed the aim assist a bit too much in Battlefield 6. Uh-oh. Aim assist has long been a point of frustration in competitive FPS players. If it's too much of a handicap or console players, does it make it playstyle different? The discussion is continued by Battlefield 6 with developers revealing that the new aim assist system after receiving player feedback. It says Battlefield 6 will change aim assist for console players. So imagine this, guys. Imagine this. Okay. Before the game came out, you're very excited, right? I loved the beta. I thought the beta was great. Okay. I thought the beta was great. But then I went, business model comes into effect, and I went, I'm good. I'm not going to play it. Okay. So imagine in a world before you bought this game, they told you you could do what you want in Portal. You can get XP, full XP, and all the things. You get your own server. We got aim assist that's going to work. We're going to stop cheating from happening. All of these things sold, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it because I believe in what they're saying. I believe in what DICE and EA is telling me, and they got my best interest in, and that's what they're looking for. Okay. Then they come out and say, you don't have your own server because you can't use your server to make XP farms, so you couldn't do what you want. You can't do what's it called? The maps are small, but they're going to be big maps. Trust me, they're going to be big maps. Then, there's cheaters in the game. Don't worry about the cheaters. We'll take care of the cheaters. We're changing aim assists. Okay, like they didn't finish the game. The game was not supposed to be out yet. I don't care what anyone tells me. This game was not supposed to come out this time of the year. It was supposed to come out early next year, but Grand Theft Auto, they delayed it. Okay, they said, we're moving out of this year. We're going into 2026. And EA was like, holy Christ. We got to get this out the door. Okay, let's put it up for it, and we'll fix it over the next... All right, well, what do we do? Well, let's put in the smallest maps that we have. They'll be easy to fix. We can put them in there. Yeah, but the line sight and stuff is too bad. Don't worry about that. They won't be able to tell. The gamers are idiots. They won't know. We're going to market it towards the Call of Duty guys. Don't worry about it. We'll put the small maps in there. We'll pump it up. We'll even put an advertisement that says, we'll blow up the Call of Duty guys and make fun of them. Oh, that'll be cool. Oh, that'll be cool with the young kids. Yeah, that'd be great, right? And that's exactly what they do. Okay, this is exactly what they did, and it worked. Potentially 10 million sold. Okay. So here it says on the Xbox 6 console controller design, lead Matt Nicholson shared that devs are working on a new aim assist system. Did I get hit again? You sons of bitches. Do you see what happens, chat? Do you see what happens when you talk about the certain companies? Do you see what happens when you talk about the companies? Tell me this is not happening, chat. Tell me this is not happening, because anytime we talk about non-stuff like this, stream works fine. But when you start bringing up stuff like this, someone's like, what are we talking about? Oh my God. You think it's a conspiracy theory, but for some reason it just keeps happening. All right. On X, the Battlefield 6 console and controller lead design Matthew Nicholson shared that devs were working on the new aim assist system. According to Nicholson, the team is also moving to orbital aim assist system, which will make the aim assist feel like sticky and have more consistent movement slowdown. This also allowed the console players to move reticle without as much interference from the aim assist. On top of the changes, the aim assist developer are also looking to reduce the recoil. Console players currently have a 25% reduction, which some may find OP. Okay. It's unclear when these console updates will go live, but it appears to be pretty soon. So there you go. A multiplayer game that's changing the fundamentals of the game, even though they were sold to you in one way and then changed the other. Yeah, I can't do anything about the Twitch ads when you come in. I have no ads running, but they run ads when you get kicked out or whatnot. I mean, Twitch is what it is. If you guys don't want advertisements, then you come over to YouTube. You get pre-roll, and that's about it. You will not get ads at all on YouTube. Well, at least you shouldn't. Now, after the fact, there's a bunch of ads, but live, you get pre-roll, and that's it. All right? So there's that for... So good news is they got 10 million potential sales. Bad news is they're taking the aim assist off. I think we have one more story for Battlefield. Oh, yes, we do. We got the challenge stuff here. Okay. So we'll show you this. So community update challenges and assignment changes. Okay, this is also Battlefield 6 community update. Recently, we introduced an update to increase the XP earned in official matches and reduce the XP needed to the first 20 attachment ranks. Imagine the population complaining that the regular attachments that you need is super hard to get. And yet, everyone's like, nah, they're not. And the market said they are, and the developers were like, we need to change this because we're losing players. As we continue to build on the improvements and mentioned previously, we're also delivering a major overhaul of challenges and assignments guided by gameplay. Data and your feedback come in adjustment with this update substantially, and we wanted to share more context on how we arrived at them. Okay, this update makes significant reductions to the challenge requirements, cutting down the time investment while maintaining a focus on the skill-driven progression that rewards consistent players. Okay, Challenges and assignments also turned around to find playtime targets, and these changes bring the requirements in line with those goals to make them more achievable within a reasonable session length. Okay. Assignments will continue to range from the goals that you can also complete through the regular play, and few award true mastery, particularly those who are tied to cosmetic items. Some of the original criteria did not fully reflect the intent that we've had updated for them to make their difficulty and purpose clear. Okay, the first set of changes went live today through the server-side update and available immediately. Any progress you've already made will automatically apply to enter your match, unlocking any challenges and assignments you now meet based on the updated criteria. As previously indicated, the scale of our plans for challenges and assignments are larger and will take place over multiple server-sides and client-side updates. Expect additional updates in the future. We wanted to get the first set of changes into the hands as soon as possible while we prepare further game updates. We'll follow up with more details and roll out in the future. If the first set of changes made were a total of 90 plus adjustments to changes and assignments, below we've highlighted a few examples. Okay, so there you go. Assault, have squad mates deploy on your spawn beacon, reduced from 50 to 5. That's big. Support, revive teammates as support, reduced from 200 revives to 60. Holy Christ, dude. Weapon assignments. All weapon assignments, AR, SMGs, LMGs, shotguns, DRNs, snipers, and carbines have officially simplified. Rapid Fire 1 assault rifle inflict damage to assault rifles reduced from requiring 10,000 inflicted damage to 3,000. Holy Christ. Right? Mode and unit assignments. The majority of our mode-specific assignments, Conquest, Rush, Breakthrough, Domination, and others, have been standardized to require 2 wins per tier. This change will make it easier to pursue these challenges with a clear intent. So you need 2 wins in Conquest, reduced from 5 wins. Okay? Conquest, 3 objective kills in a round. It was 30, and now it's 10. So they basically cut everything into 1/3. Okay? Gameplay mastery, general, expert, and master assignments require multi-kills, headshots, kill streaks. Revives have been adjusted to better match the national rhythm of gameplay. For example, multi-kill and streak goals now align with the average round performer rather than rare outlier achievements. Explosive Expert 2 get multi-kills, 2+ kill onwards with explosives, reduced from 20 to 5, so it's 1/4. Okay, repair damage vehicles in life, reduced from 3,000 damage to 500. The value of ongoing feedback around challenges and assignments as we continue to roll out further improvements. Please continue to report bugs. Yeah, please keep beta testing for us, would you? One more thing. I thought this was funny. Okay. This is from, so this happened. Okay. I think this is real. I'm gonna put this on here. Okay. So this person says, so this happened. It says, take a shower. You've been playing for 16 hours straight. We cannot allow you to continue on to Battlefield 6 servers. We have restricted your account for a few hours. Please take a break. We have an obligation to keep our players and community safe, and this ban is only temporary. Please try again soon. Like, literally, people were playing so long, probably trying to grind through their assignments that they couldn't do it. This person was playing for 16 hours, and Battlefield said, hey, you need to stop playing. Go do something else with your time. So obviously they went to go play a different game. They didn't go outside. Right? I think that's pretty funny. They made it so grindy. People were playing for 16 hours straight, and then the game itself was like, you got to go outside. Go touch some grass. Right? Go touch grass. Exactly. That's funny. All right. What time is it? All right, 11:15. All right. All right, so we got this last story here, and then we'll go over to Twitter and whatnot. It says, well, before I get to this, if you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations. If you like it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I know I'm doing something right when I talk shit about a company, and then we get blips and bleeps on all platforms. It's good to know. Okay. Xbox may be dying, but console games are alive and well, says analyst. Okay, so Ghost of Yotei, Battlefield 6, and EA Sports games are kept the console market going strong in October. What did Ghost of Yotei sell? Do we know what Ghost of Yotei has sold? Have they come out? Do we know? Ghost of Yotei sales fall short of Ghost of Tsushima per leak. Disappointment for sequel. I thought it was the greatest. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. This article tells me that Ghost of Yotei, Battlefield 6, and EA Sports games are all fantastic, yet this one tells me Ghost of Yotei sales fall short of Ghost of Tsushima. Which one is it, chat? Did it sell well or did it not sell well? I'm a little confused. I'm a little confused. Did it sell well or did it not sell well? This is from 4 hours ago. This is from yesterday. Right? This is from yesterday. This is from today. So is the article from yesterday saying Ghost of Yotei sold well, full of shit? And then today they had to fact check it and they're like, it underperformed Ghost of Tsushima. Now, I don't know what it sold. Let's read on, shall we? Because we read the articles and then we discuss. Okay, so there's a lot of questions about the future of Xbox as a brand. When games, is there a lot of questions about what Xbox brand is? Because if you've been watching my channel for the last half a decade, 6 years, 7 years, I told you what their business plan was. And guess what? They've done that now. And they've been saying it now for over 2 years, what their actual plans were. And yet for some reason, Xbox brand, they don't know what they're doing. They do know. People just don't want to listen. Right? The Outer Worlds 2 and the even signature shooter Halo is coming to PlayStation 5. Microsoft is reportedly working on the next generation of Xbox, but the outlook doesn't look promising. However, Xbox perceived decline doesn't mean that the consoles are dead, according to a prominent video game analyst. Okay. Elliott's newsletter says he shared an estimate sales of PlayStation 5 games in October of 2025, and the two big winners were Battlefield 6 and EA Sports FC 26, and Ghost of Yotei with 3.2 million. 3.2 million. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Battlefield was 3.2. FC was 3 million, and Ghost of Yotei was 2.7 in sales, respectively. The trio nearly combined for 9 million in sales. Okay. AAA games, live service, and single player alike are still thriving on console. The console is dead narrative is getting annoying. Xbox as a console is dying, yes, but let's not extrapolate that too far, right? Publishing Xbox games on PlayStation 5 has already paid dividends for Microsoft. Several of Microsoft's former exclusive titles dominated the PlayStation sales charts earlier this year. There's like 6 of them in the top 10, right? 5, 6 in the top 10. Minecraft and Grand Theft Auto both placed in the top 10 at 4th and 7th, respectively. That's thanks to the part of the continuous flow of new content via Minecraft expansions, GTA Online. Additionally, EA Sports took 3 of the top 10 slots between FC 26, FC 25, and Madden NFL 26. But guys, everyone buys first-party titles for their consoles. Take-Two NBA 2K26 took the 5th slot with 564,000 copies sold for the month. So here you go. So what month was this? This was October. So October sales. So wait a minute. I'm a little confused by this. Actually, no, I'm not. Here it is. It actually says the number. Battlefield 6 sold 3.2 million copies on console, guys. On console. Right? It sold 6 million units, so around 9 million units then. Okay, this is console sales. Okay, so Battlefield in October was 3.2 million. EA Sports, 3 million. Ghost of Yotei, 2.7. Minecraft, 635,000. NBA 2K, 564,000. EAFC 25, 350,000. Grand Theft Auto 5, 338,000 copies sold. Can you imagine? That game is 13 years old, and that's outselling EA Madden. A brand new sports game. Okay. Little Nightmares 3, 245,000, and Digimon Story Time Stranger, 241,000. So there you go. Again, here we go with the 10 million copies sold, but it's not official yet. So Xbox may be dying, but console games are alive and well. It's almost like I have a plan when we do these things, right? We talked about the beginning of how software sales are the big thing. Hence why Nintendo can get away with selling GameCube at 20 million units and the Wii U at 13 million units and yet still survive because they sell games. Games is what makes money for them, right? So across the board here, that's not bad. 3.2 million for the month for console, but it's also not good. Ghost of Yote 2.7. So now let's go over here. Ghost of Yote sales fall short of Ghost of Tsushima per leak. Disappointment for sequel. Okay, so again, it's for a leak. We don't know if it's official yet because they won't ever tell you the actual sales. The fallout round of Ghost of Yote continues, this time on the sales front. According to a leaked sales breakdown shared by former Blizzard developer Mark Grums on X, Sony's Ghost of Yote has failed to outperform its predecessor, Ghost of Tsushima, despite the hype and elevated price point. Kern posted that Yote sold 650,000 fewer copies than Tsushima in the same 30-day window, roughly 16% less, and early momentum has already flattened. Okay, it says, while the game is profitable and by no means a failure, it's disappointing for the sequel to be a sleeper hit again. Okay, sequels to the first hit are expected to do more than the first one. Yeah, because there's no expectation for the first one. And then after the first one, there's like expectation build up and you think the second game is going to be good. So it is profitable, like I said in the very beginning. I said, we don't know what it is. I said, but we don't know the budget. But it didn't sell tens of millions of copies, right? It sold less than 4 million copies. So it does seem like it did sell still less than 4 million copies. Higher price, lower impact. Despite the lower sales, Ghost of Yote reportedly made slightly more revenue due to its higher price, but that hasn't softened industry's expectations. According to the leak, Sony and Sucker Punch view the results underwhelming enough that the third entry may be paused. Do you see this? Come on now. The game industry sold, let's just say it's 400,000 less than the competitor from their predecessor. Sorry, not the competitor, the predecessor, right? So they sold Ghost of Tsushima 5 years ago for $60 and it sold 4 million units, let's say. This one sells 3.7 million units and it sold for, was it 70 or 80? It was 70, right? So it made an additional $10, which then sold more than this, obviously. And they're like, it made more money, but we're going to have to pause the third one. Like, if that's the case, do you see what's broke in the industry? In the old days, you would make a game, sell a game, and that game would make money, and then you would take that money and put it back into the third or second, and then the second one would make it into the third, and you keep supporting, you keep building, and you keep building up the brand. Yet, if this is true, according to the leak, Sony and Sucker Punch view this result underwhelming enough that the third entry may be paused. That would be devastating, but it doesn't make a surprise. Again, it's a leak, but look at what Microsoft did to Hi-Fi Rush. Look what they've done to other games in the past, not Microsoft, just the game industry in a whole, because they wanted to project to make 10 million sales, but only sold 7. They're like, that's a failure, even though it made profit. I hope it's not true. Because I hear good things about Ghost of Yote. I've never played Ghost of Tsushima. I never played Ghost of Yote. Okay, but people that did play those said that it's good. It's good. So if this leak is true and they're putting it on pause, they didn't cancel it, but if they put it on pause, yet they made more money than the last game, that says a lot, doesn't it? It says, current credited gaming YouTuber Smash JT for one of the first claims the game struggled due to backlash surrounding developer behavior online, saying the sales data proved his prediction correct. While Kern refused to identify the source, they never tell about the source. It stated confidence in the accuracy. Okay. Fan backlash continues. The sales controversy comes after weeks of backlash towards the studio following developers' public relations with Charlie Kirk's assassination, which sparked calls for boycotts across the gaming community. I never understood why people would put their careers in jeopardy by saying something stupid over something. You know what I mean? Fans have continued hammering the studio across X, Reddit, and YouTube, arguing that players' sentiment played the role in Yote's weaker performance. I do believe that's a thing. Okay. What this means going forward, Ghost of Tsushima launched the strong reviews, long tail sales, and passionate player base, ultimately becoming a breakout hit for PlayStation. Yote, despite strong visual and marketing, hasn't generated the same culture. Yeah, we're in a different time than 5 years ago, aren't we? So whether the franchise can recover or pivot remains unclear, especially with the potential third entry on hold. Okay, so let me look up something real fast. Let's go to Metacritic. And I'm only doing this because I want to see, because comparison of like Ghost of Yote. Ghost of Yote. And then we have Ghost of Tsushima. And we're not going to go with the director's cut or anything like that. We're just going to go... Okay. So, let's take this, put that like that, and take this. Come on. What's happening here? No, I don't want that. What is happening here? It doesn't want to take my browser and open it. What is happening? Can I not? Okay. I think I figured it out. Okay. So Ghost of Yote over here, and we'll do Ghost of Tsushima over here. Can I not detach this? I don't understand. All right, anyway. So Ghost of Tsushima, which came out in 2020, 83, right? 83. We got universal acclaim with 9.2. Let's look at all the... What did it get for PC? Does it show the PC ranking or just this? Oh, it didn't come out for PC then, right? So this is just... So it would be the director's cut, right? So we'll just go PlayStation. We'll just do the PlayStation. All right, so 83 and 9.2 seems pretty good. And then we have Ghost of Yote, which I don't know why I can't close this. Let me close that and then do this again. Ghost of... And we have Ghost of Yote, which is an 86, okay, which is, from review scores, is 3 points higher. User score, 8.2, which is lower by a point, 9.2 to 8.2. It seems like it's good. It seems like the reviews overall are pretty good. So, again, it's profitable. It's made enough money back. So, if you were a business, you would think, well, Ghost of Tsushima was good and Ghost of Yote was good. So, they'll probably make a third one because they were both profitable. Both of them were profitable. But this one didn't make as much of a profit because it didn't sell as many, even though it did sell more than Tsushima, which makes no sense if you're a business. You're like, yeah, it made more money but sold less copies. You would think that would be like a no-brainer to continue this thing. I hope they do more of Ghost of Yote or Ghost of Tsushima. Maybe they make a Ghost of Tsushima 2. Again, I didn't play the game, so I don't know what happens in the game. But maybe they go to a different person. Maybe they do a completely different thing. Maybe they make it like an Assassin's Creed where every time you get a Ghost of game, it's a completely different character that you're playing. Who knows? Right? I don't see the problem, and maybe it is because of the DEI. Maybe it is because of the person was part of Antifa or promotes Antifa or whatever. Who knows? There's tons of reasons why people don't want to support something, and you have every right to do that, right? You vote with your wallet. I personally look at Ghost of Yote and say, if it sold less than 4 million of the 80 billion potentially that you have on that platform and it didn't sell well, that's not good. In that vision, it doesn't sell. That doesn't look good because you're only selling, like a 3-point ratio, like 4 point percent to your total player base. And I get it. Not every game is for everybody. But 80 million people potentially having a PlayStation right now, and only less than 4 million people bought their first-party title. And I thought everyone bought a PlayStation for first-party titles. That seems more worrying to me if I was a person investing into PlayStation, that the first-party titles are not selling like Nintendo's first-party titles. Nintendo's first-party titles are selling in the double digits, 10, 20 million. Let me scroll back up and see what you guys are saying here. Eric says, it all depends on your bias and what news you want to read that day. Gosh. I mean, I only read the news stories that get submitted. If you're talking about me personally, Eric, I mean, this is why I don't read the stories ahead of time. I read the stories on stream as we read them, and I don't read them for exactly what they are. I read between the lines and tell you my thoughts and opinions based on that. Waterbear says Xbox is just a brand. They don't care if you play it on the toaster or while driving in your Tesla. Argus says Xbox console space may be unknown, but Xbox as a company is in a no danger. They're the largest game publisher now. It's true. Are these articles from the same outlet? If so, give Sarge the names. We'll give them the names on Thursday. Those numbers will go up now that we are in the holiday buy seasons as well. For which numbers? The Battlefield 6 and the Ghost of Yotei stuff? Perhaps for the people that already own the systems buying the games. I don't think we see a huge increase in people buying $700 systems across the board. Just not now, anyway. Like the people that own the systems, I think, that don't own the game, I'll give Yotei another 500 to 1 million sales for the holiday. It all depends if they put it on sale or not, right? Waterbear says, I was one of the 13 million who bought the Wii U. I didn't buy the Wii U. I had the Wii. I was like, I'm not buying the Wii U. It's the only Nintendo system I don't own. Argus says, I might have made more money, but probably cost more money to make as well. Well, they said it was, I think they said it was like 60 million. I think, is that what they said in a news report that we read a couple months ago, Argus? Right? And if they sold $70 and they sold 3.7 million, they made their money back on the game itself. So maybe it didn't make as big enough profit. I'm sure Ghost of Tsushima probably cost like 50 million, 40 million. They usually go up by like a 20% or so for each thing. Same with movies. Yeah, Jason says, I heard the Yotei's budget was 60 million. Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah. Argus says, Charlie Kirk's stuff is why I didn't buy Yotei despite Ghost of Tsushima. Oh, now we're lying pieces of crap. What happened to them being right about the South of Midnight, Travis? Argus says, well, the devs of the game were also saying shit wrong. Yeah, that's what I said about the woman, the main actress. I think it's stupid when actors and stuff come out and stuff like that. Just be the person in the game, the show, the movie. Let's see. Profit doesn't matter. It has to align with the bean counter predictions. Yeah, and that's what I don't like about, like, you look at it and they're like, I bet you they projected that because Ghost of Tsushima, again, this is my speculation. If Ghost of Tsushima sold 5 million units when it first came out, they're like, oh, well, Ghost of Yotei should sell at least 6 to 7 million. But then it sold 4 million. And they're like, it's disappointing. Even though they projected that, even though if it sold the same, it would be just as good. Eric says, I wasn't criticizing you about the news. I was also asking if a Ghost was selling. I didn't think you were, but when I see your thing as I scroll down, you know what I mean? I'm scrolling back up to see what you said. So I wasn't being defensive. I was just saying that's what I do. I appreciate it. Let's see. Argus says, long time to condemn and to conduct and say they disagree with it, much longer than any other company that they also were near the same remote situation. Robert Jones says, this game could have been more profitable than the previous title, but of it didn't expect the prediction is it's a failure. Right. And I don't know. I just find that I was talking to a guy the other day at the cafe. He owns 2 businesses, right? And I said, hey, how's your other business? And he said that I haven't opened it up yet. We're making like side projects. He works at a garage, right? He owns the garage, but he can't find people that want to be mechanics because they don't want to work on certain cars. Okay, so he's like, I haven't fully opened, and I was like, oh, and he's owned it for like 6 months, right? I was like, so how you, he's like, we're doing side projects and we're making enough money where I can keep afloat without opening it up to the public, right? So we have like, personal brides coming in and stuff like that, and we're fixing up. I was like, well, that's cool, right? And he's like, we haven't opened it up because I can't find the right people to work the job. And what he said to me was, I would rather find the right people to work the job than do a half-assed job, right? He says, so I haven't opened up yet, and I won't open up until I find the right people for the job. So when I open it up to the public, that we can do the job and it's done for a cheaper price, because he wants to do bulk over high end. Okay. And I like that mentality, because this is why I always talk about microtransactions. I was like, why sell them for $20 when you can sell them for $3, $5, and you sell more, because people would buy more. They would still spend the $20, but they would buy more stuff. Okay. And I respect what he said, because he's like, I don't want to put my product out there because it's my name on the line, right? And the reason I bring this up is because these companies don't give a shit, okay? And even though they're profitable, they didn't make all the money. They would rather close the fucking thing down and ruin the franchise or the name, okay? Because they don't want, even though they're profitable, they didn't make all the money. They could have made $100 profit, 99% of the profit, but they only made 60% of the profit, and they're like, well, it's a failure, right? Where other people are like, yeah, I'll take it, and I'll get the hit until I'm ready for this thing to release or to open. And then that way we're making a game, we're opening up a business, right? So we can actually do what we want to do. These companies don't care. They don't care. Let's see. Eclipse says, oh, you guys are talking to Travis. You're talking about the griefers and stuff like that. What I love about the people that complain about grifters is that they love watching grifters. Make it make sense. Make it make sense to me, chat. People love hate watching. And if they don't hate watch, they talk about someone they have no idea about, and they just hear the parrot say that this is a grifter, and then other people say he's a grifter or she's a grifter. I find it really strange. Just weird. Like, you're a grifter, but yet they're there every day, making comments in their comment section. Doesn't make sense to me. I think Dr. Disaster is the guy who's like Doomcock, but for video games, he does a whole, he's dressed as a mask as well. I think that's who Dr. Disaster is. I've seen him pop up on my feed every couple times. Argus says, I love to play Ghost of Tsushima, despite my dislike for Sony. Long before the incident, I have no reason to lie or grift in the case of this game. I wanted to play it. I mean, I'm not playing Indiana Jones DLC. I enjoyed Indiana Jones. I haven't purchased the DLC because of what the person said that works for the company. That's why I haven't purchased it. Why would I give my money to someone? I already gave my... Well, I didn't give my money. I gave Microsoft my money for Game Pass because I didn't buy Indiana Jones, right? Why would I give my money to a company that doesn't like me for that particular game? Like, well, I'm good. Right? I already own like Fallout 76. I already own the stuff. Like, I'll go back and play Indiana Jones, but I'm not going to play the DLC until I know what's happening with that person that said they didn't like me. A bunch of nerds and incels arguing over stats we may or may not ever get. All right, let's go to Twitter. Z says, blocking someone just because you might be annoyed you isn't good. You're just getting only one point of view. Yeah, I don't block anybody myself. I love conversation. Mo says, wait, someone said they didn't like you? Oh, I'm talking in general, Mo. And yes, in person, yes, there's people that told me they didn't like me, which is fine. I don't give a shit. I'm talking about a business when they say we don't want this type of person buying our game. Cool. I won't buy your game then. Eclipse says, isn't it weird that Travis said that this is why he's not playing It's Last Night? That's crazy. This is as an opinion on a game, but other people aren't allowed to have an opinion on another game. Weird. Yes, you should be an adult enough to know when Smash JT is covering his ass and when he's also truthful, just giving the information. Yeah, Mo, it's just in general. Yeah, there have been people that literally have come into my channel that have gone to other people's channels and literally said they didn't like me, which is fine. Water says, I don't like 30, and this is why I come into the streams and listen to them every day and even donate to the CPU build. Z says, I had lunch with 30. What an asshole. I am an asshole. I am an asshole. All right, let me see what's going on first. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. We've got our first look, boys and girls. There's no girls here. There might be. That's the first look of Gambit. Gambit's coming to the game. And then here is Rogue. Oh, yeah. Gambit coming to Marvel Rivals. And so is Rogue. Look at that. They're behind. They made the let's look at that. Look at that. They're doing some good stuff over there as far as visual. They're doing fantastic. Epic Game and Google reach a legal settlement after years of court battles. Oh, we'll take that and put that in the news. Talk about that. We'll talk about that on GXG. Jason says, damn, Rogue's about to sell a ton of skins. Yeah, the X-Men are coming. Water says, if Gambit's ultimate isn't Royal Flush, we riot. I'm with you. We riot. If it's not called Royal Flush, I'm out. I'm fucking out. No, I'm not out. I'm already out. I haven't been playing it. I've been playing Helldivers. I've been playing. We did play the PvE mode, which I have to go back and try to complete. It's good stuff. Let me go back here just in case something's not kosher on the thing here. Battlefield 6 with Gochi Yote ranked in the top downloads of PlayStation Store in October. Okay. Adam Fall, winner of Games Industry Award. I don't know. We delighted to share that Adam Fall won Best Action/Adventure Game. Look at that. For Tiga Movement awards last night. I don't know. I have no idea what that is, but congratulations, Adam Fall. I think sometimes they just make more reward shows just so they can give more rewards out to people that don't know anything about anything. The hell is this? I don't know what this is, chat, but this is coming to Fortnite. Comes to Fortnite tomorrow. It's called Disneyland Game Rush. Disneyland Game Rush. Disneyland Game Rush is arriving in Fortnite tomorrow. A new Fortnite Creative Island celebrating Disneyland's 70th anniversary. There you go. Game Awards. Said it. I love watching stuff like this. This is movie stuff. I love watching movie stuff like this behind the scenes because a lot of people don't get to see stuff like this. So watch this. This is the top part is the actual footage that you're seeing. Okay. And this is what you see in the film. Okay. Watch this. Okay. So he walks out. It's all digital, right? That's a set on top of a building. They built a set on top of a building. Isn't that cool? You would never, ever know. People think that CGI is what Marvel does and all the other stuff. A lot of the times you have no idea what you're seeing or what. Right? He's got a harness on him the entire time so he doesn't, if he trips or falls or something off the edge. Put the color temperature. So good. Right? You guys see that part right there? So they put a green screen at the bottom there. So it looks like it's, even though it's solid, they put a green screen there to make it look like the bottom of the floor. So that's rotoscope right there for just that frame. Pretty cool. And they have no idea. None the wiser. But everyone's like, oh, the CGI, the CGI. Yeah, the CGI is getting bad because they depend on everything. But when you mix it like that, where it's a set, it's really walking on a building, but you mix it in. It's cool stuff. Oh, yeah, the hardcore Henry behind the scenes stuff. That was awesome. Okay, wait a minute. There's more about this. Okay, so Disney Parks has arrived in Fortnite for the first time with Disneyland Game Rush. Check out our preview of the. Let me see what this is then. Let's go watch this. Is there a preview? They actually have a. Is there a video? There's no video. It's IGN. Don't they have a? All right, so Fortnite Disneyland Game Rush is an incredibly authentic first step into Fortnite for Disney Parks. Isn't this crazy? I literally just brought this up the other day when we were talking about what they were doing with The Simpsons, and they were talking about, was it yesterday or was that Monday? I was like, I can't wait to see what they do with the park type of stuff, right? So it says, while we're still waiting on Disney Epic Connected Universe to arrive in Fortnite, the big step has been taken towards the goal of Disney Parks has arrived in Fortnite for the first time with Disneyland Game Rush. We had a chance to try a Fortnite island, created an Unreal editor for Fortnite, and discovered to be an incredibly authentic experience that celebrates Disneyland's 7th anniversary through enjoyable yet forgettable mini games and environments inspired by beloved attractions such as Haunted Mansion, Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance, and more. Disneyland Game Rush is a limited time offering in Fortnite that's officially launches on November 6th. You can simply search for the game title or jump right into using the code and experience the new adventure for free. When you first enter Disneyland Game Rush, it's in between the mini games. You also be welcomed into a modeled after the one between Disneyland and Disney California Adventure, complete with the 70th anniversary castle structure in the middle. On the perimeter, you can also see Sleeping Beauty's castle, Haunted Mansion, Pixar, Matterhorn, and more. All of these pieces make a very visual, appealing Disney puzzle that I love exploring. You can also open up presents, and also each inspired by attractions, nighttime spectacular. Participate in Disneyland's trivia for points. Trade in tokens you've earned for mini games for island exclusives, Disneyland's 7th inspired cosmetics, like Mickey ears, a spider bot hat, the head of Disneyland's 70th themed R2-D2, and even a Hatbox Ghost Back Bling, amongst others. One of my favorite touches is that you also can find a Disneyland key in each land to redeem it for a golden version of these cosmetics. For those unfamiliar with the Disneyland key, it's a physical toy key that you can also use to locks around Disneyland during the 7th anniversary celebration, and it's represented here in a clever, fun way. So they've also done stuff like this. There's a Disneyland park and Universal Park inside of Minecraft. And Minecraft, you can like explore the park, which is pretty cool. That's what it seems like they're doing here. It says, speaking of mini games, there's also R7, and that you end up 11 other randomly compete in. There's also a Disney Haunted Mansion scavenger hunt, Matterhorn slip and climb, Space Mountain rocket race, Indiana Jones Tomb Runner, Guardians of the Galaxy mission sneak out, Star Wars Stormtrooper showdown, and a web slinger Spidey bot blaster. How does Disney do that? Sony owns Spider-Man, someone will say. Disney Haunted Mansion Scavenger Hunt was my favorite of the bunch. It gives me the excuse to run through the spooky halls of my favorite attraction with a flashlight and freedom that you don't have in the real thing. It also gets many bonus points for stretching room with the iconic welcome speech and the paintings of the Fortnite versions of the real thing. While there really isn't an objective besides collecting coins, it just made me smile so much with the grim grinning ghost blasting through the speakers while stumbling upon the dining room and got a dance with a group of ghosts, include Peely. So that's cool. Stormtrooper Showdown was my next favorite, as you put aboard a first order Star Destroyer, tasked you with taking down as many Stormtroopers as you can. This was made even more fun, as you could even take Kylo Ren or Captain Phasma, and if you defeat them, you can take their weapons as your own. There's also even a lightsaber hidden around the level, which also always is a welcome addition. Fans of Star Wars Rise of Resistance will be happy to know that the AT-ATs and laser cannons can be found as well. It says, I placed the Matterhorn slip and climb third because perhaps the most chaotic. You have to climb the Matterhorn with the grappler, but also twist is that you also feet become blocks of ice when you do. It's fun to swing and climb, but face the mountain. But there's also lots of slipping and falling with friends hilariously soaring down next to you. It's annoying. Once I got the hang of it, though, it was an enjoyable experience and some of the good strategy thrown in, especially when you swung right into the Disneyland Key. Guardians of the Galaxy mission Sneak Out takes a spot number 4 in the large part because it began with the welcome surprise of Jackson 5's Want You Back, what followed as a 2D adventure through a space prison, where you can also avoid guards and also make a collector's office on the top level. Also a nice touch in this level with also Milano floating outside. Ability to throw boogie bombs at the guards and also friends to make them dance, but it wasn't particularly exciting about the guards who also took you out of the way too fast. Okay. Indiana Jones Tomb Runner was next, and there's also the race through traps filled with level of features, ton of nodes in the adventures, including a giant boulder, spikes coming from the floor, poison darts being launched from the walls, and there's also a speed boost you can also get and help with the mission. But anytime you touch a hazard, you can also slow down. It was also tough to get good momentum as the traps seemed very tricky to avoid, but maybe just not just yet very good at being a treasure hunter. Okay. Web Slinger Spider Bot Blaster was the second to last for me, even though I loved how the team used the same models of the animations as the Spider Bot in Web Slinger, a Spider-Man adventure in DCA. It's a shooting gallery with multiple Spider Bots, normal ones, golden ones, and even giant boss, one that's also not gagging as you, also mostly standing still in the window shooting bots, exploring barrels instead of running and jumping all over the place. Okay, so it's a little thing. And lastly, we have Space Mountain Rocket Race. I love how this minigame starts in space modeled after the actual attraction, but the minigame itself is just grinding on rails or a couple of minutes, and the sense of speed is nice. I do love the classic Space Mountain music, but it didn't feel like it was really had a control whether or not it was winning or losing. If I fell off a few times and had to wait to respawn, I was slowly gliding down into the nothingness. All in all, these minigames are fun distraction and very excited to bring the friends with you into the experience until we can also reunite in the real Disneyland. Unfortunately, I can't imagine coming back to them after the luster of living these incredibly well-done homages to the game, to some of the Disneyland top attraction wears off. What this does, though, most of all, however, is make it even more excited about the partnership between Disney and Epic. As someone who has extensively covered Disney and visited Disneyland during the 70th anniversary celebrations, I think the capture and the feel of these attractions and perks is a very special way. I mean, there's even popcorn carts hanging about, a railroad circling in the hub area, and also the party end, and where you can also dance with Mickey and his 70th anniversary bests. Okay, Disneyland Game Rush, despite its name, doesn't feel like a game that was rushed. It feels like it's a project lovingly created by Disney and celebrated Disneyland big milestones and give fans a way to celebrate even more if they can't even make it out to Anaheim. While I hope they can also improve the actual gameplay of these actual Disney experiences in the future, I wouldn't be happier now if the fulfilled Disney Parks has brought into Fortnite for the first time. I know exactly what he's talking about. So I played this, like I said, in Minecraft. Like, my son wanted to get the mod or whatever it is in Minecraft, and you literally walk around the parks, and they have like little things that you do inside the game. So you're like riding the roller coaster, like you'll be on Neverland or Small World or Space Mountain, and you do all these things. And it's actually pretty cool the one time you do it, right? And there's like little things that you can do and get like autographs or buy memorabilia and stuff like that. That's what it seems like they're doing here. But once you play it, you're probably done with it afterwards. You're never going to do it again unless you're like, hey, let me show you this, right? And if you're a kid and you show your mom and dad or whatever. Other than that, I don't think you're really going to go back. So now if Disney's going to do this, right, and we talked about this, I think it was 2 days ago, where if they have a Marvel land, a Star Wars land, like what are they going to do in those lands? Are you going to be able to do like a battle royale just in that map? Because they brought the Simpsons in, right? So is there going to be a Simpsons map that I can just go to and then do a battle royale anytime I want? Because it's a really cool map. I don't know if you guys tried it yet. The Simpsons map is actually pretty cool. If you're a big Simpsons fan, like I was growing up, I haven't watched it in a decade or a half, but I watched it for the first 20, 25 years of its life. It's pretty cool. Walking around the actual town and going into places like that, it's pretty neat. So is Disney going to make all these islands, and is it going to be like this where you go in once, experience the actual park, or is it more going to be like you get to choose what you want? If I want to be creative, if I want to play Lego in that park, if I want to play park, if I want to, do you know what I mean? Like, is it going to be more in depth, or is it just going to be what this is, where it's like you go in, you see it, and then you never touch it again? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some other videos. Thanks for watching. Let's see. Waterbear says each event in Disney Rush mode will be about as much as a skin. You have to pay $10 to $15 in real money to play it. Well, this is free. They haven't done that, but you're not wrong. Maybe it is. Like, are they going to have a free mode to go in? And then I look at this, in a way, Water, where if, let's say it's free to play, right? And they want you to buy thematic skins of Mickey and whatnot. Maybe you go into a store and you can actually purchase something, and then it ships to you in real life. Like I want a Mickey ears, and if I buy Mickey ears in the game, I can also get Mickey ears that get shipped to me or whatnot. I don't know, right? But let's say it's free, and now when I log into Fortnite, I get to choose. Do I want to play Lego? Do I want to play Disney? Do I want to play Battle Royale? Do I want to play? It starts to separate, and does Epic care at that point? Does Epic care if you're playing this mode or that mode, or do they just care that you're in there? Do you know what I mean? Remember, it's a $2 billion investment. Yeah, it's $1.5 billion. $1.5 billion stake in Epic Games to create an expansive universe within Fortnite. Right? That's from last year, March of 2024. I almost downloaded Fortnite just to try the Simpsons map, but I didn't, so you're telling me I should, right? It's good, Roadkill. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, they did a really good thing with the way they brought it into the games, too, the little cutscene that they have, and show you why it's there. It's pretty good. If you like the Simpsons, Roadkill, download it. It's fun. I'm playing with my son the last couple days. He's already completed the Battle Pass. He's already completed the Battle Pass. It came out Friday. Eclipse says, yeah, the Simpsons map and all the weapons are awesome. I love it. Yeah, it's good. It's great. August says, Mike, I need you to make me a mod so Travis can never block and run away from me after talking smack and lying. I have my man Ginger Prime vouch for me. I don't want you to use your power for evil now, Argus. I bought so many Minecraft maps that I play once and never touch again. But that's what I'm saying. Does Fortnite do that, right? Does Fortnite charge for the maps, or do they let you go for free? And does Epic care if you're playing in this part or that part or this part? I don't think they do. As long as, because if you're in the game, you might purchase something. Argus says he completed the battle pass already. Yeah. He just completed it last night. He's only allowed to play a certain amount of hours a day, but on Sunday he's got free reign. Sunday he can do whatever he wants. If he wants to go outside, if he wants to sit inside all day and play video games, he can do that. Right? During the week, he's got to finish his homework before he plays. Okay? And this little son of a bitch, he's my son, so I can call him that. Okay? He's super smart. So because he's not allowed to play video games until after he's done with his homework, he wakes up early. This kid wakes up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, right? Because he's not at school yet. So he gets up and he doesn't have to go to school till 8. So then he plays video games in the morning when he wakes up until he has to eat breakfast, get ready for school, and then he goes to school. And then when he comes back, he does his homework, and then he only can play up until 8 o'clock. So if it takes him a while to do it, he can play a little bit after school, after he's done with his homework. So some days he plays, some days he doesn't. But Sundays he's like, all day, he'll play. Yeah, he's done with it already. Yeah, he's smart. He's like, wait a minute, I can't play until after I'm done with my homework. But if I get up before anybody else, I can play video games. That's right, Water. The early bird gets the controller. Did he get the Battlefield style take a shower message? No, actually, my son's pretty good. So he'll walk away. He'll walk away. He knows he's very smart. So what he did was, you know how there's those rail boards, Argus, where you can get like XP if you just go around the railing? Do you know what I'm talking about? So my son, he came in one day and goes, hey, do you think that if I use the rubber band, would it know that I'm using a rubber band? I'm like, no, it wouldn't know you're using a rubber band, but you can keep the controller from going asleep. He goes, okay. So my window in my office, like right here, I can open it and look out and see where he is when he's playing video games. So I see the controller is just spinning. The screen is just spinning, right? And he's on the railing, right? He's on the railing, and it gives you XP, but it slows your XP down if it knows that you're not there. So he put it on the camera button, and the camera was just spinning. And I'm like, bro, I was like, you put it on the wrong stick. I was like, you got to put it on the left stick and you push forward on it. That way it knows that you're still pushing forward like your thumb. He goes, oh. So now he was farming. So like he gets tired and he'll stop playing video games and he'll put the rubber band on the controller. And I told him to use a shitty controller, like one of our old controllers, so he doesn't wreck his other controller, because he just got one for his birthday. So he grabs my older shitty controller, puts the rubber band on it, and just walks away. And he does other things as he's farming. Least amount of resistance. Gamers are going to game. Yeah. Yeah. Quintar says he is his father's son. That's right. The apple doesn't fall from the tree. I did that when I was addicted to Final Fantasy. I would get up to like 5 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, you do what you... He's a real fan. Randy Pitchford would be proud. If you're a real fan, you'll do what you have to do. Yeah. Robert Jones says, that's me, waking up at the crack of dawn for a few hours of game time. Yeah, your whole family's sleeping. That's why I do it at night. That's why I game at night most of the time. I game in the afternoon because that's before I pick up my son. Once my son and my wife come home, that's them. But they go to sleep at 8, 9 o'clock at night. That's why I stream at night. Eclipse says, actually fix that. What he needs to do is make where something is hitting like the A button or a shoot button, like a fan or something. But don't you have to tap? Don't you have to tap the button? Because he was farming and he was getting like hundreds of thousands of XP from just going around the thing. How would you do that? There's probably a way you could do it. If you hold it though, does that represent as a hit or a hold? I'm sure he'll figure it out. My son will probably invent something so he can do it for him. I hope he falls a little away from the tree, or he'll be bald by 30. First of all, I am not bald. Okay, I have hair, but yeah, you're right. But he has his mom's hair, so he's good. He didn't get that gene from me. My son's got luscious hair. Very, very. I'm very jealous of my son's hair. Waterbed says, I wake up at 1 a.m. after getting off of work, my full-time job at 12 midnight, and work at the ice cream parlor so I can buy Borderlands Ultimate Edition that I no longer play. Oh, man. Yeah, I didn't say I wasn't bald. I did say, I mean, I still have hair. I'm going to shave my head. Don't worry. Travis finally made a funny. He did. See, I'm okay at reading it, too. All right. It's past 12 o'clock. This is the time I stop streaming. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. If you're over on Twitch, hit the follow button. Hit the subscribe button. Right? Is there a follow? Subscribe over there? I don't even know if there's a subscribe over there. The follow button. And other than that, if you'd like to support us, you can become a member over here on YouTube, over on 30NSG. You can listen to our music. You can stream the music. You can download the music. Or you can purchase a mug, a shirt. I still haven't got my shirt yet. You'll know when I got my shirt because I'll be wearing it on stream. Yeah, so got to shave it and wear a suit for the Game Rewards podcast. I mean, if I hit like 10,000 subscribers in a short period of time, maybe I would shave my head. Before that, that's not going to happen. I like the little hair that I have left on my head. And the beard's not coming off. So, all right, chat. We'll be back with some more video games over on 30 and Still Gaming in about 45 minutes or so with Mr. Luke. We're going to be playing some more Arc Raiders. If you guys like that game, come on over, hang out with us. If not, no big deal. I'll see you guys tonight when we play Shooting the Shit with Sarge. We'll be playing some game with Sarge. I don't know what we're playing, but we'll be playing something. Other than that, appreciate it. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever you are, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Yeah, money talks, we listen. Empire moves, but what about the mission? 50 billion, yeah, they bought the vision. Yeah, investors in the boardroom, suits pressed tight. Counting green, flipping scripts overnight. Guns and football, yeah, that's the call. But what about the stories that we love most of all? Bioware legends now, whispers in the hall. Studios bending to the profit, feeling small. Kushner at the table, PF in the mix. Even the Saudis are now in the mix. Players in the chat like, yo, what's the fix? Empire moves, money calls the shots, but the heart of the game is tied up in knots. Investors rule, but we still play. Holding hope while the cash takes a day. Empire moves, who's really in control? They count the billions, but who owns the soul? Who owns the soul? Who owns the soul? Who owns the soul? Every AAA title, every indie grind. Now waiting spreadsheets, creativity confined. Promises whispered, nothing will change. But corporate hands don't play the game. The fans remember nights we stayed up late, exploring worlds they might try to desecrate. Passion can't die, it's coded in the heart. But will it survive when profit tears it apart? Empire moves, money calls the shots, but the heart of the game is tied up in knots. Investors rule, but we still play. Holding hope while the cash takes a day. Empire moves, who's really in control? They count the billions, but who owns the soul? Who owns the soul? Who owns the soul? Who owns the soul? $50 billion, but what do we lose? Stories and worlds replaced by corporate cues. Gamers still grind, we don't bow, we resist. Creators to dream, still pushing the twist. Legacy over ledger, that's how we survive. The heart of the game keeps the stories alive. Empire moves, but we're still in the fight. playing for the passion, not just the night. Empire moves, money calls the shots, but the heart of the game is tied up in knots. Investors roll, but we still play, holding hope while the cash takes a day. Empire moves, but the soul still whole. Gamers and creators, they own the soul. Ooh, they own the soul. Gamers and creators, they own the soul. Empire moves, money calls the shots, but the heart of the game is tied. Empire moves, money calls the shots, but the heart of the game is tied up in knots. Empire moves.